Hey everybody, I am back finally with yet another video. Sorry for the lack of updates lately. Like I've said before, I'm just very busy with work and all that good stuff, but let's dive right into the story. So as you can see from the title, this is a time where I got a little too high on the 4th of July. This story takes place back in 2021, and I was out with, the usual college crew, Nathaniel, TJ, all those guys. So on this particular morning, I wake up like normal, and I get a text from TJ, and he's like, "Yo, pull up to my grandmother's house. We're gonna have a 4th of July party there." And I was like, "Okay, cool, sounds good." So everything there was normal. I pulled up, all that good stuff, but I wouldn't be talking right now if the whole day was normal, now would I? So the thing was, his grandmother wasn't home. Like, she let us use the house. Like, she knew about it. She's like, yeah, just clean up. She was in Florida or something like that. I don't even remember. But the thing was, obviously, he didn't live with his grandmother. He had his own apartment, and he didn't drive. So I had to pick him up. And the reason why that's important, I had to pick him up, was that he was like, "Yo, bro, let's stop by the dispensary." Because he had just turned 21 not too long ago at this point. So he was like, "We should celebrate the 4th and my 21st." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, let's do it. Why not?" So not only did we go to the dispensary, we also went to the booze store, the liquor store, whatever you want to call it. And let me tell you, we spent a lot of money that day. So anyway, we pull up to his grandmother's house. It's me, obviously, TJ. I think Dylan was there, Aaron was there, Nathaniel, a few of the other guys were there. A few girls were there too, I think too. It was nice. The best part of the house was that there was a pool, and it was like one of those big pools, like a lot of people could fit, which made it even better. But before we got in the pool, I decided at first I was just gonna drink. So I had a drink, and I didn't really feel anything since I'm a heavyweight champion when it comes to booze. So I didn't really feel drunk at all. But about an hour goes by, TJ says to me, "Yo, let's fire up the grill and have a blunt or whatever." And me personally, like I think I've said this before in other videos, I don't really smoke just because my lungs are kind of fucky ducky. So I took a couple of gummies, and that shit hit actually kind of quick, like quicker than I expected. Edibles take usually a while to hit, like usually an hour, maybe 90 minutes, depends on the person. But my friends are like, "Oh no, this shit will hit you in like 30 minutes." I'm like, "Dude, I'm just different." But come to find out, this shit indeed did hit me in 30 minutes. And bro, I was hungry as hell. And mind you, we were still like, grilling and shit. And I said, I'm like, "Yo, grill that shit up, bro." But then I remembered my dumbass took 3 gummies instead of 1 or 2. And there were about, I want to say like 10 each. Well, you could split it in half and you could have 5 each. But I had 3 whole ones. That's 30 milligrams. And I've said in some other videos at the time that was kind of too high for me of a tolerance. So that shit fucking hit me. And like I just said, we were grilling and shit. And I was like, "Yo, bro, cook that shit up, bro. Cook up more food." And bro, I was a freaking munch, bro. Like I ate like, I swear to God, like fucking like 4 hot dogs, and I don't even really like burgers. And I had like 3 burgers, bro. Like I felt like I was in a Nick Avocado video, bro. It was crazy. But after I ate, I wasn't hungry. I'm surprised. Usually that shit usually makes me hungry, but somehow my brain was like, "Oh, okay, you're done." But after that, I'm freaking out a little bit. I'm like, "Bro, I think I had too much, all that stuff." And my house was like 5 minutes from TJ's grandmother's house, and Dylan agreed to bring him home later. So I always had that option to have someone drive my car, bring me home, and have somebody else drive their own car and bring them back to TJ's house. But I didn't want to look like a wimp, so I just tried to, thug it out like a real G. So I jumped in the pool, tried to forget about it, but because I was so out of it, this is gonna sound stupid, but I forgot how to jump in the pool. Like I was standing there, and I shouldn't say that actually. I was too scared to jump in the pool. That's the truth. So yeah, like I'm freaking out about to jump in the pool, and everyone's like, "Dude, like you jump in the pool all the time." Like, "Dude, like I feel like I'm gonna drown." And he's like, "Bro, you're literally on the most shallow end of the pool. Like, come on, dude. You can't be scared." I'm like, I don't know, because like I said, I was being a stupid little weakling that I was. And one of my boys, I forget who, we'll just say Nathaniel, pushed me into the pool. And bro, that pool hit different, bro. Like, I don't know if y'all have tried going in the pool well high, bro, but dude, I just felt so relaxed. Once I realized I could jump in the pool and everything like that, everything was fine, I felt so relaxed. He also had a hot tub. Like, his grandmother had a lot of money. So I went over to the hot tub because it was like indica weed, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and it makes you relax. I call it in the couch to help me remember, or I would use that to help me remember when I first started like doing this kind of shit. So I was sitting in that hot tub, but the thing was, I was in that hot tub for like a good like hour, and you're not supposed to do that. Obviously, you're supposed to be in there for maybe 10 minutes tops, maybe 20 if you really want to try. And the thing was, because I was in the hot tub for so long, my skin was like wrinkly as hell, and like I was freaking out. Like I was literally like, TJ, come over here. It, he was like, Jesus, sorry about that. He was like, bro, you are like fucked up. I'm like, yeah, you don't say. So at that point, I decided, you know what? Somebody drive me home, and we'll figure it out. So Nathaniel drove my car back to my house. Like I said, it was like 5 minutes away. And Dylan drove Nathaniel's car to my house. And the four of us, we ended up just chilling at my house for a bit. It was kind of nice, actually. We ended up just chilling. I learned to calm down. The shit weared off. My skin got back to normal since I literally went into my house and I literally sprayed myself with like the shower thing. And I had cold water on it. For some reason that worked, I think anyway. I actually don't fully remember, if I'm being honest. But yeah, that's what they told me anyway. But anyway, after sitting at my house for like, an hour after everything wore off, I grew tired. So I was like, you know what, you guys can go back to, what's his face? TJ's grandmother's house. I'll come back after. Since the party was lasting until like whenever. Like I said, his grandmother wasn't even there. So I napped for like a good 90 minutes or so. I set an alarm, and at this point it's around like 8 o'clock. And I remember at this point we were getting ready to set off fireworks and stuff. So that's what I did. I got up, went back over. I told my parents what happened. They're like, alright, no big deal. You're an adult. Do what you want. And here's where it gets a little bit interesting now. So none of us had experience with fireworks. None of us knew what the hell we were doing. And I started drinking again. And this time I actually got like drunk, since I decided, you know what, the worst that can happen to me is either somebody again drives my car home or I just walk home. It's like less than 5 minutes away. So I had a couple beers, and they say to me, oh, Marston, do you want to be the first one to light off the firework? I'm like, bro, I have like zero experience whatsoever. But he's like, come on, dude. None of us do. I'm like, okay. And thank God it missed. But because I was a beginner, it didn't shoot up in the sky. No, it literally like shot on the ground, and it nearly not only hit people, but it almost hit the house. It was like literally like maybe if like 50 feet away from the house. And luckily it exploded on the ground. It wasn't like one of those big fireworks. It was like one of those, like, I don't know what they're called, like one of those like small things. But I got very, very lucky. And that was the end of that. Nobody else wanted to do fireworks. We ended up just going to the fireworks show for that reason. Alright guys, I know this was kind of a quick one. I'm going to try and be more active. I really am. Trust me, I'm trying. But for now, guys, hope you guys had a good 4th of July weekend. Let me know what you guys did in the comments. Peace.